Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian. Welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We'll cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. And we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. We have a serious problem with Stephen A. Smith, and something has to be done by ESPN because this thing is getting out of hand. Stephen A. Smith is literally using his platform on ESPN to go after people that he disagrees with. That is literally what he's doing. And he has a history of this. Dating back to Kwame Brown, to Kevin Durant, to Lonzo Ball, to I think Josh Hart, one of the Knicks players. There's some Kyrie Irving. There's some other people that I can't remember right now. And now the latest one is Jaylen Brown. As you guys know, you remember all of this started where last year, Stephen A. Smith said that some people that don't like Jaylen Brown because he thinks he's a know-it-all and he thinks he's smarter than everybody. The brother's smart. I don't know what to tell you. If you're offended by it, it's a you problem. It's not his problem. If he's smart and you feel a kind of way, it's your problem. From what I understand, he even negotiated his own contract. The guy is a sharp guy. What's the problem? But the news came out that, he wasn't marketable because, again, essentially he's too smart. I don't know what that says about the world of sports. That an athlete that's too smart is not marketable. Jesus Lord, what does that say? And then I think him and Stephen A. Smith did a sit down or something, or Stephen A. Smith revealed that he had some sources that said this about him. So Jaylen Brown, who's the one that was being talked about, said, well, name your sources. Then Stephen A. Smith said, I can't name them. That's where the thing started off. But he was essentially saying that people behind the scenes were saying all of these things about Jaylen Brown, how he's this, how he's that. And Jaylen Brown felt targeted. He didn't even make the Olympic team, if I'm not mistaken, which is insane. I think the finals MVP of the league not making the Olympic team. He has been vocal about companies like Nike and all of this. So Stephen A. Smith came out and said, I'm the one I'm protecting the brothers. I'm looking out for the brothers, man. You know me, I'm looking out for the brothers. But now has done everything in his power to destroy Jaylen Brown and essentially do the bidding of the people that he said didn't like Jaylen Brown. No one has attacked Jaylen Brown more than Stephen A. Smith. No one. But now it's reaching levels where I think ESPN needs to step in and do something. Yesterday, Stephen A. Smith went on his show and did a show where he said, I accept your challenge. Let's debate this thing out, right? And I saw the clip of it. I wasn't going to do a show about it, but I saw the clip of it. I thought that was it. Do you know today on ESPN, he did another segment. After doing a segment with Kendrick Perkins and all of these guys trashing this guy, he did another segment today where he was trashing this guy and coming after him. And I'm like, okay, this has to stop. Like, this is going too far now. Like, you're making it personal. You are personally targeting this guy. Personally, and you're using ESPN, the platform, to do it. Because the guy went out there and made some comments. You made a comment on your show. Why are you doing it again today? So these are the comments that we want to get into. But before we even play it, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Kachava. Now, before we continue, let me tell you something. This year, I got serious about taking care of my body, my training, my nutrition, all of it. Nothing extreme. I just wanted to take better care of myself. But my days get busy between work, moving around, taking care of my daughter, trying to go to the gym, buying groceries. Life fills up fast. And when it does, nutrition is the first thing to fall apart. I would skip meals, grab whatever was easy, and feel it by the afternoon. Then I started using Kachava's new travel pack. Just one packet gives you complete nutrition ready for life to go on. Plant-based protein, fiber, greens, vitamins, probiotics, omegas, electrolytes, and more. No artificial flavors, no sweeteners, no soy, no gluten, no preservatives, and no animal products. All the nutrition my body craves in one delicious shake, packed to go. It keeps my energy steady all day, and more importantly, it actually tastes amazing. If you have been meaning to take better care of yourself, this is the easiest place to start. Take your daily ritual with you. Go to Kachava.com and use code DREAMERS for 15% off your first order. That's Kachava, Kachava.com, code DREAMERS. And here's one more thing. If you decide to try it, send us your receipt to dreamersproofficial@gmail.com, and we will give you 2 months free in the Dreamers Pro community we are building. Or we could give you 50% off on your future merchandise when we launch it. All right, perfect. So what we want to do is I'm going to play the video here. I want you guys to listen to it, and then I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith going after Jaylen Brown here.
So proud of this group and the way we played. I wish we trusted that style of play a little bit more, but I know playoffs kind of shifted our rotations and what we wanted to do. But I'm so proud, and it was my favorite year of my basketball career.
So that video was back in the beginning, just a day after the Celtics blew a 3-1 series lead and lost to the 76ers in early May. Jaylen did have career highs in points and rebounds and assists this year, while his running mate Jason Tatum was mostly sidelined. Since then, he's been involved in trade talks, but for now, he's still in Boston with the Celtics and says that favorite season thing was not about what we think.
Leader behind that was ESPN. ESPN is unethical. And Stephen A. Smith is the head face of that. But, the organization, the players, they were all in agreement. They all knew what I meant by that. Our team was basically salary dumps. We lost a lot of players. And for us to emerge and still be in the same position.
Oh, God. Listen. I'm not going to go off. I was tempted to. But it's really pathetic, and I don't think it's an accident that he went out of the country spewing that nonsense, because we're all tired of hearing from him here, because he's making absolutely positively no sense. Jaylen Brown I can't believe what he has tried to make this into. Now the entire ESPN network is unethical. How are we unethical? What did we do to Jaylen Brown? I want to remind everybody, all of this is because Jaylen Brown, a champion, an NBA Finals MVP, and this year a top candidate for league MVP honors, lost a 3-1 lead in the first round to the Philadelphia 76ers and went on the air less than 24 hours later and called it his favorite season. This is after taking the Boston Celtics to 6 conference finals, 2 NBA Finals appearances, winning a championship, and a Finals MVP. This is also while Jason Tatum was on the bench for over 60 games this year due to his Achilles tear before coming back and having to sit out again. That's what all of this is about. Ladies and gentlemen, this ain't about something else that happened. There's nothing else that happened behind the scenes or anything like that. This is about a grown-ass man acting like a child because he doesn't like the fact that he went on the airwaves and spewed to the world that going home in the first round was his favorite season. I understand what he articulated and what he came back and said and tried to explain, equivocating the way that he did. I get it. I understand it. But Boston Celtics fans didn't want to hear that. Basketball fans didn't want to hear that. The reporters that cover on it, by the way, not just this network, on all the other sports networks, radio and television and podcasting. Kendrick Perkins is a former Boston Celtic. Who obviously has relationships with a whole bunch of people in that organization presently and in the organization formerly. And he's not the only one. And all of them were saying the same thing. But Jaylen Brown wants to call out ESPN and me. So you know what I decided to do, ladies and gentlemen? I decided to have my producers, the great producers that we have on this show, put together a montage of exactly the things that I have said about Jaylen Brown spanning the last several years that evidently makes us unethical.
So you saw it there. If you notice, there was one point in the show where he said he's acting like a damn child. Stephen A. Smith is talking about Jaylen Brown is acting like a damn child. A man who's in his 50s that always finds himself at odds with 20 and 30 year olds. You're the one talking about he's not mature. Why is it only you? Why are you the only one that finds yourself in this situation? Why you got so much smoke for this dude? The guy has a different opinion than you. So now you're going to go on a crusade to trash him at every turn. Even the other day when they did a show about Giannis potentially being traded to Miami or Boston, you went on another tirade. And now today you're doing it again. But then we'll talk about, oh man, I always take the high road. No, you don't. When the president called you a political neophyte and said you're dumber than a bucket of rocks, where was all of this smoke, man? Where was all of this damn smoke? But let it be Jaylen Brown or Kyrie Irving or Lonzo Ball or Kevin Durant or whoever else you be having issues with. You be puffing your chest and doing like, enough is enough, bro. We get it. You disagree with the thing that he said, but you're now using ESPN as a platform to target this guy. That is exactly what you're doing. But then turning around and saying, oh, other people said, no, Stephen A., you've done more damage to Jaylen Brown than anybody else that I've heard publicly. Like, it's enough, man. We get it. You don't like the dude or you have an issue with what he said, but damn, it's enough. Is ESPN going to step up and say anything? Or is there a green light on Jaylen Brown? Because we know y'all would never let him talk about LeBron James like this. So why is it cool for him to go after this guy like this? The guy said, okay, I had my best year, and he explained it. And you heard it. But now you're still going overboard. That's the reason why even when they brought up Wendy's like, I'm not getting involved in this clown. Like, I'm not getting involved in this. This ain't got nothing to do with sports. This is just a personal grievance you have with this guy, and now you're targeting him. The same way you did with Kyrie Irving, to the point where other people needed to step in and try to mediate the situation. Like, bro, you're taking this too far. You're taking it too far. It's enough. Like, let it be. It's enough, man. Like, damn. Jesus Lord. Like, what is ESPN turned into? No one is going to say nothing? Like, this is normal? All of this just because he said he had his best year? That's what it warrants, all of this? Where were all of these shows when LeBron said after he lost in the finals or whatever it was, I'm going to go back to my life and everybody else is going to be poor and all of, I didn't see you flaring up like this. Why are you targeting this guy? It's too much.